the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Play action. It's Fields. This one hauled in, and again it's Robinson. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. It's got to be so tough having the ball in the middle of the field like that, knowing that a linebacker is just waiting to make a big tackle like we just saw.
Oh, no doubt about it, because offense coordinators love to call plays that send receivers into the middle of the field. And linebackers, they want to naturally discourage those plays from being called.
On second down, McCaffrey. And he stopped immediately there. They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And this throw will be intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. What a start defensively. Your offense goes out, gets the touchdown, and then you get the interception. Just perfect.
How about the discipline that they showed on defense? Because after the offense scored to go up 7-zip, you would think they might be a little extra aggressive trying to get back at them. Instead, they read their keys well. When they took the shot downfield, they were more than prepared for that one.
The first carry for the Memphis man, Antonio Gibson. And some room to work. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On first down, right back to Gibson. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Winston. This is caught.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Gibson. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Gibson again. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
41's coming, 41's the mic. Guys, stay in situation. Let's go.
Following the interception, Winston rolling to his left. Slings this deep for McLaurin. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got it. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin with his second touchdown here in this first half. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Fields now to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Fields. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That time a little misdirection really seemed to fool the defense.
And think of it this way. From the time you're in high school, you're taught to watch film and pick up tendencies. Sometimes they can use those against you, though, when they break their own tendencies and hit you back the opposite direction, huh?
Here's Gibson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
The way he's been slinging in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that third, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. Second down and goal. Winston. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And it is 28-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. at the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A handoff left, McCaffrey. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. This is McCaffrey on the give. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. William Jackson with a pick. So now it appears they're going to accept the penalty, which means take away the interception. Also means keep your defense on the field. Don't understand this one bit. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. They snap it to Fields. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jamin Davis. And he will bring this one back. It is a pick-6 for a Washington touchdown. That pick-6 extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes this 35-0 now. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they just had that pick-6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll be down, losing yardage back at the 40. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Here's Fields. He's got Mason complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. A final shot before the break. Fields. Oh, he'll take a shot for McCaffrey downfield. And now here is another interception. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, how about this right out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators, they sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I'll guarantee you he's been selling this one. We can get it, coach, we can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
Second half starts with a run by Gibson. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 40 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that any time you hand the ball to a back.
On second down, here's Gibson again. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. They'll run with Gibson. And he's got this down to the 35. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second half blowout material. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
On second down, they'll try and run the counter. Down right around the 25. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They'll try to throw now. Winston. Quick hitter here. It's complete. Touchdown, Washington. Eric Ebron. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And this Washington offense continuing to add to their lead.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. taken at the goal line. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Now Fields. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. Boy, so another interception, CD. And it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
Let's go. Mike 51, Mike 51.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And once again, he's going to be stopped up behind the line. 2nd straight play. Shades of the 85 Bear defense a little bit. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Here we go.
Off the play fake, Winston. They'll buy some time right. Slings this deep from McLaurin. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, 32 yards. And Washington able to capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Now the try here for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. In the 3rd quarter here in D.C., a 2nd and 10 upcoming. Looking to throw. Fields. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, 2nd half, no quit in him.
0.
Fields on 1st down. Caught out left side by Robinson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Three quarters in the books. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd and 11 now. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. To throw on 3rd down. Fields. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And it's looking all the more likely that a 5th straight win is going to be in the cards. They'll try to run some time here with a 1st and 10. And now the rookie's free. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Washington offense just continuing to pour it on.
So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now it's Fields off the bootleg. But the man is Kmet, the tight end.
And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here we go with McCaffrey.
And this will be a Bears 1st down as he's got this up to the 28-yard line.
If he writes a book in the offseason, he ought to title it Undaunted, because where he is on the field, back on his own side, and goes for it and gets it, I got to give it to him on that one.
Yeah, only thing you can justify it with is it was only a few inches that they needed. If it's 4th and 2, probably doesn't do it. Hey, he got it. Give him credit.
Yeah, but if they don't pick it up,
then you're in trouble.
Yeah, they're giving points to the other team at that stage. Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. McCaffrey. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw. Fields. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Jonathan Allen able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. A play fake, now Fields to throw.
And now here is another interception. William Jackson with a pick. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
41 Mike.
On 3rd down, Winston. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. This is taken at about the 14. A 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Steps, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Montez Sweat able to record his 5th sack of the season.
And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And notice you used the word sparked, because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
Off play action, Fields. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Yeah, he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page, because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
That's to his running back, complete. And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a first down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that will force a turnover on downs.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Washington, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Packers will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Bears, things are definitely going south quickly as